Hi everyone, I hope that you are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boon and I welcome you. I just heard a bird standing next to me, sorry. I welcome you to my channel. It's always a weird thing doing videos outside because I'm always like, oh my god, is there a spider on me or is there something crawling around on me? Usually there isn't. Of course I'm paranoid. In this one, I wanted to do a video about something a little bit uncomfortable to talk about for a lot of women in general, and a lot of men, all men, I think. But it's basically kind of a rant, and if you are not interested in hearing about periods and menstruation, then you can just switch off this video because it's not for you. I recently, for some reason, I know the reason. So recently what happened to me was that I started getting this random kind of insomnia where I would wake up wide awake at around 3 a.m., 3:30, something like that. And I'd just be wide awake, as if like all of a sudden I'm like from 0 to 100, right? Or from 100 to 0. I was like asleep and dreaming, and suddenly my eyes are open and I'm like, I'm awake. And then I wouldn't be able to go back to sleep, but I was so wired and I was so energetic that I would just get up and I'll just do stuff. But I'm just thinking to myself, why am I getting up so early? Normally I get up at 5:30, so it's not like I'm missing that many hours of sleep, 5:30, but it's still an hour and a half that I could have been dreaming, right? So I'm like, I want to dream. And also, like, it's important that I don't miss my REM sleep because you guys know how much I love my dreams. And so I started looking into it, and I realized that it might have to do with my adrenals being overworked because of stress or because of just blood glucose madness or hypothyroidism. There's many different reasons. And so I started looking into hormones a little bit more. And as I've said before, I get obsessed by an idea. I get intrigued by it. And then I'll start going down these rabbit holes and I'll start reading this book and then this blog post and that blog post, listening to this podcast and that video. And then, of course, I started going to books. And I've done a video on some period books that I've read already. The ones were Balance Your Hormones, Balance Your Life by Claudia Welsh and Woman Code by Alyssa Vitti. And there's another one, Period Power by Maisie Hill. All three are exemplary, absolutely brilliant. And I realized that, angrily I realized, first of all, and sadly actually, a lot of sadness and a lot of anger cropped up in me when I realized that I am 37 next month. 37, guys. And this is the first time, I'm not saying that 37 is old or anything, but this is the first time in my life, in my very extended long life, that I've ever looked into hormones, particularly period hormones, or anything to do with my cycle at all, my menstrual cycle. I had never, ever looked into it. Now, of course, that onus is obviously on me, like it's my responsibility to have looked into it earlier and be like, all right, what is this all about? Like, what's going on down there, right? Because it is a very confusing thing. But I also got a little bit angry to think about the fact that we are not taught this important, very important thing about our bodies, about our cycles, about our life. Something that dominates our entire first half of our life until we're around 50, right? And so for about 40 years, we're going through this particular thing. Around 40 years, we're going through this particular cycle over and over and over again every month, unless you're on some kind of birth control that prevents it. But every month you go through it, and no one ever speaks about it in school. Even sex education, they speak about other things like, the way your body looks and your sexual organs and the condom and sex protection and all that stuff. But they never ever speak of the fact that a girl at the random age of 12, 13, 14, or even maybe 9, 10, 11, or 8, some girls are getting their periods as young as 7 or 8, which is insane. I got mine at 13, so my first one was 13. But young girls are getting their period without any kind of knowledge about what's going on. thankfully my mother was pretty good about it. So like, and my friends were pretty good about it too. So like my friends knew that, you know, it was coming, and the I think I got it the latest out of all of them. So they got it earlier than me. I think they got it at 11 or 12. And so obviously they knew all about it already, and they're like, you know, so this is what happens. And I'm like, what? Blood comes out of you? Like, what are you talking about? And I thought they were just joking. But then one of them showed me their blood, and I was like, oh my God, are you not sick? This is actually normal? And then she explained, yeah, it's normal. This is what happens to women. It's about, you know, she gave me a perfunctory explanation, a very mundane explanation. I'm sure it was absolutely incorrect. But she said something to do with the fact that this is what happens when you're not pregnant, which is the basic essence of it, I guess. So I'm 12 or something, and then I'm 13. All of a sudden, I get my period, and I go to my mom. I'm like, Mom, I think I got my period. And she's like, oh, that's great, that's awesome, oh my God, my little girl is finally a woman. And she took it in a very nice way, and I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't hate my periods completely entirely. Because she didn't take it as, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever, I can't believe you have it now, like, blah, blah, blah. She actually took it as a very nice thing, and she made me feel comfortable, and she showed me how to use a pad, and she told me what to do with it after it's done, and you know, how to take care of myself while it's there. You know, you might have pain, it's okay. I've had many. She would tell me about her periods, and so it was a very nice experience. Now that I think about it, I never had that conversation with my sister. I'm hoping my mom had it with her, which is weird. I never thought that I should have that conversation with her. But again, it was a whole stigma associated with just being a female, because I was born and brought up in a Muslim country, and in general, anything to do with being a female was just frowned upon. Like, you're a female, all right, just like everything you do is wrong, right? Yeah, you have breasts, yeah, that's wrong. Or you wear a skirt, that's wrong. Or you have long hair, that's absolutely wrong. Okay? And so it felt like everything related to a period must absolutely be wrong, because it has something to do with the female body, but also with pregnancy, right? And right now, as I said, I'm sitting here at 37, finally reading a book about it, which I'm grateful for. I'm really grateful that I do have a chance right now to read the book. And that's why I'm doing the videos on it, because I really want all of the women that follow this channel to read the book as well. The books, all the books. Maybe you've already read it. Maybe you're not as slow as me. But again, as I said, it was a lot of sadness and anger, you know, that I could have known a lot more about my cycles and about how my body changes through the cycle, through the months, through the weeks. Over all of the last 20 years more than 20 years that I've had, right, 20 years that I've had 26 years that I've had my periods. 26 years, that's 26 times 12. I don't know what that number is. But that's how many periods I've gone through, how many cycles I've gone through, and I had no idea what I was doing. Now, of course, eventually, little by little, I started learning about my body. I was like, oh, this is what it does at this time. 7 days before my period, I get really hungry and I start eating everything. Or 1 day before, I get constipated and you know, obviously I learned about all this stuff by observing my body, by doing yoga and observing my body a lot through that. But I wish I had this book, and then I could have gone through my periods and kind of mapped it out and understood my body a lot more, and actually in the process loved it a lot more than I did. Because right now, reading about my period and noticing the cycles and noticing the changes in my body and just the perfection of it all, the way Mother Nature's set us up as women to have these beautiful cycles, just makes me love myself as a woman more. I'm grateful to be a female, to go through these cycles, to have this power, to have this connection to Mother Nature, to the moon. It's just so beautiful. But I never had this love for it before I learned all about it. Maybe some people naturally love their cycles. Unfortunately, I did not. And I wish I did. I wish I loved my cycle more than I did, of course. But I do recommend to you all, as one female to another, or one person to another, that I do recommend that you learn a lot more about your cycle. Go read the books if you can. If not, do go on their websites and check them out. Maisie Hill, Claudia Welsh, and Alyssa Vitti all have websites. You can go and they do amazing blog posts on the subject. Loads and loads of information out there about it. And really it really makes you learn automatically. You don't have to try even. It automatically makes you love your cycle, your body, your periods, your femininity, your feminine power, the Shakti, if you want to call it, that is emanating in all of us, right, as females. And so I really want all of you to read the book. And if you already read it, I would love to hear about it, obviously. I'd love to hear about your first experiences on your period. How was it? Was it a positive experience, a negative one? Did your mom tell you about it, your friends, your sister? Did they say good things? Did they say bad things? I'm going to do a lot more videos like this in the future because I'm learning a lot about my cycle, and I want to share that with you ladies. And, you know, have this kind of like conversation going, because I never had a chance to talk about this stuff before. I never knew anything about it really to talk about it. So hopefully this is fun for you as well as much as it is for me. I mean, it is my channel, so if you don't like it, you can go find some other channel. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the support. I feel very grateful that you're all here on my channel, and I shall see you guys the next time around. Bye for now.